The Sahara Desert burned under a golden sunset as 4 black SUVs crossed the endless sea of sand. Inside the lead vehicle, Dr. Malik Zuberi stared at an ancient, glowing map passed down from his grandfather. Tonight, the legendary Black Pyramid would finally reveal itself after remaining hidden beneath the desert for centuries. Amina and Njeri carefully studied the strange symbols glowing across the ancient map. The markings belonged to no known civilization on Earth. Malik quietly revealed his grandfather's final warning. The Black Pyramid was never a tomb. According to the old legend, it was a mysterious gate connected to another world. Hours later, the research convoy reached a dead region of the Sahara, where even satellites stopped working. Giant dunes surrounded the team as an unnatural silence covered the desert. The air felt heavy and strange, as if something ancient beneath the sand was secretly watching their every movement. Without warning, the ground suddenly trembled beneath the vehicles. Sand spiraled downward into a massive, collapsing pit as terrified researchers shouted in panic. One SUV nearly disappeared into the earth before stopping at the edge. Then, deep below the falling sand, something gigantic slowly began to emerge. The tip of a colossal black pyramid rose from beneath the desert floor. Unlike ordinary pyramids, its surface looked smooth as glass and completely dark. As sunlight touched the structure, glowing blue symbols spread across the stone like living energy veins, leaving the entire team frozen in shock and fear. The researchers stood silently before the giant pyramid, unable to believe what they were seeing. Floating particles of sand shimmered in the warm sunlight, while the ancient structure towered over them like something not built by human hands. Deep inside, everyone realized this discovery could change human history forever. High-tech drones began removing layers of sand around the mysterious structure, while scientists monitored holographic scanners nearby. But the deeper their scans reached, the stranger the pyramid became. The structure extended kilometers beneath the earth, with impossible geometry that defied every known law of architecture and engineering. Inside the research tent, Amina analyzed glowing symbols displayed across holographic screens. Her expression slowly turned pale as she decoded the ancient markings. These were not decorations or prayers. They were warnings left behind thousands of years ago by someone desperately trying to keep humanity away from the pyramid forever. Suddenly, the entire camp lost power. The Black Pyramid began glowing brighter than ever before as giant stones floated silently into the air around it. Researchers rushed from their tents in fear, while the desert itself vibrated beneath their feet. Something ancient inside the structure had finally awakened from its long sleep. A deep, cracking sound echoed across the Sahara as a giant triangular entrance slowly opened at the center of the pyramid. Brilliant blue light poured outward from the darkness within. Cold, ancient air escaped into the desert, carrying the strange feeling that something sealed away for centuries was finally breathing again. Dr. Malik led the team carefully inside the glowing corridor of the Black Pyramid. Smooth, alien walls reflected bright blue symbols across their faces, while their footsteps echoed endlessly through the structure. The deeper they walked beneath the desert, the more reality itself began to feel unstable and unnatural around them. One frightened researcher suddenly stopped walking and pointed toward the glowing wall ahead. A dark shadow moved silently across the corridor for only a second before disappearing completely. Nobody knew what they had seen, but fear slowly spread through the group as they realized they were no longer alone inside the pyramid. After hours of exploring, the team entered a gigantic chamber covered in glowing carvings and impossible architecture. Massive walls displayed ancient scenes unlike anything found in human history. Floating blue lights illuminated the enormous room, while strange symbols pulsed softly across every surface surrounding the terrified researchers. The murals revealed an unbelievable truth. Ancient African kingdoms were shown kneeling before glowing beings descending from the sky inside massive ships. The mysterious visitors appeared to teach humanity science, mathematics, and architecture. Malik realized these carvings could completely rewrite the history of civilization itself and humanity's true origins. At the center of the chamber stood a giant black throne, surrounded by floating stones and glowing symbols. The throne appeared ancient, yet strangely untouched by time. Amina stared at it nervously, feeling as though someone, or something, had once ruled this place long before recorded human history ever began. On the far side of the chamber, the researchers discovered a massive circular door covered in rotating alien symbols. At its center floated a glowing blue crystal suspended in mid-air without support. The entire room vibrated softly with mysterious energy as the team slowly approached the impossible structure with growing fear. As Amina stepped closer to the floating crystal, the symbols surrounding the circular door suddenly activated and began spinning rapidly. Bright energy filled the chamber, while a strange metallic sound echoed through the pyramid walls. The air itself seemed alive as ancient mechanisms awakened after remaining silent for thousands of forgotten years. A terrified researcher turned toward the corridor, only to discover the exit had completely vanished. Solid, glowing walls now trapped the team inside the chamber. Panic spread instantly across their faces as they realized the pyramid had sealed itself shut. Whatever controlled this place did not want them escaping anymore. Dr. Malik reached toward the floating crystal, and the moment he touched it, powerful visions flooded his mind. He saw giant alien ships descending from the stars onto ancient Earth thousands of years ago. Entire civilizations gathered beneath glowing skies as mysterious visitors arrived carrying advanced knowledge beyond human imagination. The visions revealed ancient African civilizations, learning astronomy, architecture, and science from glowing beings from another world. These visitors were not conquerors, but refugees searching for survival after their own planet died. Humanity once welcomed them as teachers, before fear eventually transformed friendship into violence and devastating war. Suddenly, movement appeared inside the dark portal behind the circular door. A tall, alien creature slowly stepped into the light. Its black skin shimmered like liquid metal, while icy blue eyes studied the terrified humans carefully. Ancient glowing symbols covered its body, exactly like the carvings surrounding the chamber walls. Suddenly, movement appeared inside the dark portal behind the circular door. A tall alien creature slowly stepped into the light. Its black skin shimmered like liquid metal, while icy blue eyes studied the terrified humans carefully. Ancient glowing symbols covered its body, exactly like the carvings surrounding the chamber walls. Overcome by panic, one researcher raised his weapon and fired directly at the alien creature. But the bullet suddenly froze in mid-air before reaching its target. Seconds later, the bullet reversed direction at terrifying speed. The chamber erupted into screams as chaos and fear completely consumed the trapped expedition team. The alien leader turned toward Dr. Malik and revealed the horrifying truth. The gate inside the pyramid was unstable, and if fully opened, humanity itself could be destroyed. Around them, glowing energy storms tore through the chamber as violent tremors shook the ancient structure closer to total collapse with every passing second. The portal expanded wider, revealing another dimension beyond the gate. Floating ruins drifted through endless darkness, while giant shadow creatures moved between storms of glowing stars. The researchers stared in terror at the impossible world beyond the doorway, realizing the Black Pyramid connected Earth to something far more dangerous than imagined. Amina finally understood the truth hidden within the ancient warnings. The pyramid was never built to imprison the alien beings. Instead, it had been created to protect Earth from the monstrous entities trapped beyond the portal. Fear filled her eyes as the terrifying reality became painfully clear to everyone inside the chamber. Gigantic shadow claws burst from the portal, while the alien beings struggled desperately to hold the gate closed. The chamber collapsed around them as glowing symbols flashed wildly across the walls. Massive energy waves tore through the air, while horrifying screams echoed from the dark dimension beyond the unstable portal. Knowing humanity faced extinction, Dr. Malik grabbed an explosive charge and ran heroically toward the floating crystal. Around him, collapsing pillars crashed to the ground, while alien creatures battled the monstrous shadows emerging through the gate. The entire pyramid shook violently as the final moments of survival approached rapidly. Dr. Malik leaped toward the crystal and triggered the explosive device. Instantly, a blinding wave of blue energy consumed the entire chamber. The collapsing portal pulled shadows, debris, and alien creatures back into darkness, while the Black Pyramid itself began disappearing beneath an explosion of light and destruction. Years later, Amina stood alone beneath the bright Sahara sun, staring across peaceful, endless dunes. Officially, the Black Pyramid never existed. But deep beneath the silent desert sands, faint blue symbols slowly glowed once again. Somewhere below, the ancient gate remained hidden, waiting patiently to awaken another time.